Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing us to be here to fellowship, network, and learn more about the candidates of College Park. Lord, continue to bless us individually and collectively, open our hearts and minds, and let us have a prosperous meeting. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Right now, what we want to do, we want to have the candidates to come up and take their seats.
Okay. Candidates, while he's doing that, I can have you all introduce yourselves. If you would like to come to the podium, I'm gonna give each one of you between 2 and 3 minutes.
Morning, College Park.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to be here once again. My name is James Walker, and as most of you know, I am running for mayor. During this experience, I often refer to College Park as a tale of two cities. One city we had before, and one city that we have now. In running for mayor and talking to the great people of this beautiful city, I've come to learn and understand the issues that we had, that we still have, and that we need to tackle and conquer. Our taxes are out of control. Our services are substandard for a city of College Park. Our children are crying for help, and our city is divided. That is a recipe for disaster. I don't care what city you look at. For a city our size, with our budget, there is no reason why we are not further along in each one of those areas. Tell me why our taxes are doubling and our services are depleted and deteriorating. I hear from people countless numbers of times. I have letters written to me from older men and senior citizens that beg for the same services in Ward 1 through 4. And if they add on a fifth one, I'm here for that one too. They ask for, why are our taxes doubling and our services are going down? Why are our children forgotten about? Why are our schools bottom of the barrel? I'm here to fix that. I'm not a politician. I'm a servant since day one, down since minute one. From College Park, East Point area, born and raised. Not sure many people can say that. Educated right here at Morehouse College and Georgia State Law School. Running a business and a corporation, millions of dollars. I tell people often, a city is a corporation. You run it like a corporation with the heart of a pastor. You love your citizens, you care for them, you listen to them, and you have your ear to the ground, your finger on the pulse of what they need and what they want. And you do not come up until it's fixed. And if we have people who are not doing the job, then guess what? They can get some too. We have to fix College Park. It is our last hope. With 6 West coming, we have no choice but to have a transparent government. We have no choice but to have accountability. We have no choice but to cut the fat where we can cut, give our citizens the tax breaks and the incentives that they deserve. We have no choice. This is our last hope. Get out there, vote, tell 5 more people to vote, and register people to vote. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I'm Bianca Motley-Brown. I currently serve as your mayor of College Park, and it is nothing but a privilege and an honor to serve as your mayor. We've been through a lot. The last 3.5 years have been a real challenge for all of us. When I took office in January of 2020, no one was expecting a global pandemic to set in. But not only did we survive, we thrived. But that wasn't without challenge. But every time we had a challenge, we met it. And that is what we will continue to do over the next 4 years if you reelect me. When we had issues with providing access to voting in a pandemic, we opened up the convention center. We opened up the arena to make certain that people were able to exercise their constitutional rights. When we realized that Fulton County was going to have a South vaccination clinic at Charlie Brown Airport, which is technically north of I-20, not anywhere close to where the pandemic was disproportionately impacting Black and brown communities, I stood up and I said, no. You come to the convention center and we got over 65,000 vaccines administered. We saved lives. In the midst of all of this, we have continued to lead the charge with economic development. There has been over $100 million of economic development in our city in the last 3.5 years. That is both public and private investment. And that has been targeted toward affordable housing. And you can see that in every corner of this city, whether it's West Fayetteville Road, whether it is Main Street. We are providing affordability and access to our citizens. I just talked to someone yesterday who wants to make a $60 million investment in affordable housing on Godview Road. That is not a conversation we would have been having 5 years ago. It is because of the investments and the efforts over the last 3.5 years that people are taking a second look at College Park. And we are better off, and we will continue on that path. We also have to make sure, and we know, that everyone deserves their opinion. In the last 10 months, under the leadership of Chief Cotty Rogers, our vacancies have been cut in half. Enforcement is up over 100%. We are doing the work and we're making investments in our workers to make sure that they have the resources and the tools that they need to do their jobs. And we are also supporting them even when they're gone. Because in the last 20 years, our retirees had gotten 1% cost of living increases. We were not doing right by the people who serve the city of College Park.
All right, 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. Look forward to your questions.
Okay. I know we usually go after each other. Hi, you guys. Good morning. My name is Faisita Jackson, and I am a candidate for mayor. And so, excuse me for my tardiness. I was at a 5K at the Old National, off on Old National for the college with the Business Merchant Association. So I'm going to keep this brief because I know you guys have heard me speak a couple of times, many of you. And so I want to focus on what we should be looking for and what I hope you guys are looking for. And so Spiceda is my name. It's spelled S-P-I-C-E-D-A. S is for servant leader. And College Park really needs a servant leader. P, we want to make sure that we're bringing back the pride of College Park. I want to make sure that we're improving our persona. C, we're correcting the crime. D, we're developing land, the land that we've been so blessed to have, so that it can increase all of our home values, increase our properties, increase our living, so that we can be in a place that we can be proud of and we can benefit from the blessings and the resources that we have. A, appreciate. We want to make sure that our properties are appreciating. The value of being in College Park is appreciated. And I'm going to add another A, accountability. I'm an accountant. I'm a certified accountant. My background is actually in mergers and acquisitions. So I like to tell people I'm no average accountant. And so I've been doing accounting for 30 years, since I was 16 years old. You can do the math. I've audited government, I've audited small businesses, and I went from that to financial due diligence. Mergers and acquisitions. I help companies buy other companies, and during the last recession, or back in 2008 and 9, I helped businesses carve out areas that were not profitable for them. You know, Delta decided to merge with Northwest way back when, and they had to make a decision. I was on that team. When they decided that they would not merge with United, but they would merge with Northwest, it was a decision that was made in 3 days. So I make quick decisions. And I'm no average accountant. And I want to bring accountability back here to College Park. Okay, I wanted you guys to also know this, and let me just tell you in case you guys didn't know, that merger was made because they decided not to go with United, but to go with Northwest, simply because the planes were old and they had a union. So they said, you know what, United is gonna cost too much to get you. We're gonna go with Northwest. Northwest doesn't have a union, right? And their planes were so the decisions that we make for our city is important. We don't have much time. God only gives time and land. Okay, thank you. We've been blessed to have that, y'all. Don't squander it on November 7th. Let it be our lucky day. Vote Spicito for mayor.
Thank you. Oh, you didn't have to move, but I appreciate it. Let me see if I can do this in my time. Spicito, here's your phone, darling. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you and for your consideration, my name is Demetrius Taylor, and I'm vying for the auspicious title of Mayor of College Park, and I hail from Ward 2. And I stand resolved that the citizens, neighbors, and stakeholders of College Park should exercise their voting power and elect into office a leader that would treat the citizens as a whole city, and not by individual wards, respect the citizenry respectfully, and is willing to have political ideals and critical yet passionate ideologies challenged, and will not only listen to the people, but amplify their voices in true power so that College Park can be the city they have decreed it to be and to become. My platform is this: affordable workforce housing that benefits everyone who wants to become homeowners at the $15 to $25 an hour wage points, and seek developers whose entire purpose and their entire projects will cater to this community and not just have percentages of a project be selected as affordable. Serving the apartment communities as stakeholders instead of transient income so that the homeowners won't feel as though they stand alone with taking care of the city and burdened by taxes. Fair and compatible contract options for Black and brown contractors. In a city that is 82% African American, we need to have our cultural and heritage imprint on the city to reduce the budding threat that is upon us, with well-known white nationalists and supporters of the KKK buying into the property of the 6 West development area. Better care for and security for our senior citizens and our children, who are our legacy and our future. We must protect the seniors and their persons and their homes from threats of harm and danger as we protect our children and their education and their growth potential. Intensive and extensive ongoing mental health care for our first responders as they have to decompress from all of the horrendous tragedies and unpleasantries that their job offers. I am not the voice of the people. I am the people. If you are the microphone, I am the amplifier. Plug into me so that we can make sure that your voices resonate and so that the work can get done. If you do College Park math, is simple. 1 + 2 + 3 + 4 = 1 College Park. My name is Demetrius Taylor. You hashtag Mayor Meach. And let me say this. Right now, we are in a peril time, and I got a little bit of a minute. We're in times right now to where everyone here, most of you here, you hear because you already know who you're going to vote for primarily. Y'all just want to see what we're doing, who's saying what. But the problem is that you already made your decision, but we got to go out and get those. Thank you. Right before Karen, come on up. Yeah, you come on. If you have your no card field, your question, if you want to pass, each one of y'all pass it to the right, we'll come in. Anyone? Okay. Need 2 more? All right.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out. What a wonderful group of people we have here this morning, and it's cloudy. I would have probably stayed on my pillow. But my name is Karen Corbin, and I am a realtor. And this morning, I am going to get real with all of y'all about what keeps me up at night about College Park. The first thing that keeps me up at night is the drama that we have on city council. I'm here to dilute the drama, not add to it. We are one seat away from looking like the city of South Fulton. In doing this, we are delaying our progress and scaring off our investors. We need to repair our brand image in the marketplace. The second thing that keeps me up is safety. We need enhanced city services. What we have today isn't working for our residents and our businesses. Businesses butt up against residential areas, and we have traffic issues and trash all throughout our city. Everybody needs to feel valued, protected, that we live in a place we can thrive, not just survive. Thirdly is the lack of home ownership. We have a big wealth gap in our city, and I believe that home ownership is necessary to close that gap. Affordable housing has come up over and over during this campaign and even today. 75% of College Park are renters. We need to ensure that anyone who wants to own a property are prepared to do that. As a realtor, I have the relationships to help make that happen through training, credit counseling, and down payment assistance. I can provide that through free workshops. And lastly, development keeps me up. Getting investments like 6 West off the ground and doing right by it. Also, there are many other opportunities for investment across our entire city, not just 6 West. We need to bring developers into College Park who will build businesses and build communities for our first-time homebuyers. This is what I do on a daily basis. And when I am elected, I will do this for our community as a whole. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing this morning? All right, hi. I'm Jamel McKenzie, and I am running to be your next city council person for Ward 1. And let me just say, when I think of Ward 1, I think of this beautiful melting pot of many different variety of races. We have different sexual orientations. We have different social economic groups, but some way we all come together. And that's what intrigued me when I first came to the city of College Park, the fact that the people were just so friendly. And I got so involved in the city because the city, to me, was worth getting involved in. And I care about our city. And so I hit the ground running. We didn't have a police chaplaincy program. I've heard people talk about mental health. Our police officers needed the chaplaincy program for their mental health, but we also needed it for our community. And so not only did we start that for the police officers, but for our firefighters, and then later on for our city workers. And as I continued to work in the community, there was a need on the Business Industrial Development Authority. And I'm very concerned about development here in the city of College Park. I've been working for 5 years on the 6 West project, and it is not an easy project. It's extremely complicated, and there's a lot of stuff going on. But I dug into it, and I'm looking forward to continuing to make 6 West what it needs to be, because there's a lot of things we can do wrong, but we need to get it right. And so as I'm continuing to work in these capacities, we also have needs in the city where people who need resources don't know where to get them. And the city government did not know how to get that to them. And I was able to create the Ignite Resource Center as a way to help those of us that have means and have resources get those resources into the hands of people that were struggling. And we were able to put back into the city of College Park residents over $2.7 million in the last 4.5 years. And to me, that's something to clap about. So I've been working. I'm not doing this. I didn't do what I did to run for city council. I did what I did because I care. And I think it's important that as you get ready to elect your next city council, let's not go on a bunch of promises that people are making, but look at the work that has been done. Because we can talk a lot of smack, but at the end of the day, what are you really going to do? Amen. So I feel like I'm in church. So basically, I am looking to run. I am concerned about the things that I've heard everybody say here. So I'm not going to get into a long thing. You can ask the questions as we come. I'm concerned about safety. I'm concerned about our strategic development. I'm concerned about fiscal transparency. Why are our taxes being increased, but the services that we're getting in our city are not? I'm Jamel McKenzie. I'm asking for your vote on November 7th. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll come this way. I'm the last, and Mayor, you've said a lot of good, very good points for the city. Over the past, my name's Ken Allen, and I am the councilman for Ward 3. And thank you for inviting us here, because I think this is a good forum where people can get out and talk about what's going on. A lot of you know me, a lot of you don't know me, but I think it's important that you know who is your councilman and what their plans are. My background is, I've been here 30 years with Delta Airlines, within the city, working for Delta Airlines. And you talk about the mergers, I was those mergers. When they had mergers and they had acquisitions, I would go out and place the people in the right positions. I was overemployment for 25 years. And in that time, I had 20 people working for me, hiring all the pilots, Jamel, and the mechanics and the flight and the flight attendants. But I was tasked with going out and hiring the people in the foreign countries. And I would go to Asia one week, and the next week I'd be in Germany, then I'd be in France. And the one thing that I learned, everywhere I went, when you were in a country and you were in a business that you liked, Mercedes, Sony, if you enjoyed your job, if you took pride in your job, you did your job and you weren't looking to find other places. So what I bring to the city is I bring service and commitment. The service, I have been on the zoning board of appeals. I have been on the College Park Housing Board to see what happens in housing and how that's developed. I have been on the DMO, and I was actually chairman of the DMO. And I've been on the VITA board. I've been a previous councilman. I'm your councilman now. I was councilman, Mayor Pro Tem. I believe commitment is to the citizens, and commitment is to the employees. If you don't have employees, as I said earlier, that are happy and proud to work for that city, you're going to lose them. Your salaries can go up, which we've done. As the mayor said, it has been very low and low increase. We've increased those over the past few years, and we intend to increase them more. But my commitment is to the citizens, and I listen to every single person that calls me, wants to come by and sit on my porch, that will want to come into my office, and my wife will attest to it. I go 20 or 30 places a week talking to people, listening what the issues are for the people. I will sit down and I want to get to know you, and I want to get to know what's going on. I attend all the functions of the city. I've been to the Favor track meets. I have been to the jazz festival we had on Godby Road. Thank you very much.
So now, get into the meat and potatoes, right? We have questions that, if everybody filled out a card, still that's up. Pick up these cards. So what I will do, I'm going to stand in the back and read you all the questions, and I guess I'll call for mayor or council, and you'll come up and just answer. Right? Okay. We have everybody. Does everybody fill out a card? Is everybody finished? Anybody need one? That's good. All right. Does anybody need water? Water. Okay. All right. No.
Your table is getting ready.
Excuse us, could we just say, you don't want everybody to get water too.
A little better.
Thank you.
All right, is everyone ready? First, we're gonna start off with the mayoral candidates. First question. Most of the mayoral candidates have mentioned initiatives and plans they have for improving College Park. What are you currently implementing to improve our city without having the title of mayor? You want to take that question?
How do you want to do it?
I'm sorry. Each candidate will answer the question. Yeah, each one of you have 1 minute to answer the question.
Do you want us to stay right where we are, or you can?
No, you can go to the podium. Yeah, because you have a mic up.
So everybody's going.
Yeah, everybody goes.
Okay. Just want to make sure I have the format.
And I'll state the last part of the question again. What are you currently implementing to improve our city without having the title of mayor?
So I am an accountant, like I mentioned earlier, and my business is on Virginia Avenue. And I moved my business here to College Park in 2017. One of my biggest things that I do, and I do it every week, I do something called business combos and coffee, because I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship. I'm very passionate about businesses having the right foundation. And no, I'm not mayor. And until April, I wasn't planning to be mayor. And so the biggest thing for me is opening up my mouth and lending my experiences so that we can have a better city. My heart is a heart to serve. I've been serving since I was a little girl. My parents have a little league organization that they've had for 50 years. My mom is a social worker. She certified old people. And my mom, my grandmother, her mother, and my sister, who unfortunately passed away in 2021, November 11, 2021, with COVID. And so, and my grandmother, who was 100 years old, my grandmother never owned her own home. And she actually lived in the housing authority. So you may look at me and think, that I may not understand the housing authority. My grandmother passed away December 2020. And she lived this life 100 years. So I understand elderly people. I understand what elderly people face because my mom made me understand. She told me what they were experiencing. So I have a heart for that. I have a heart for young people because my parents have had a little league organization since I was 5 years old. 50 years, my mom and dad are still in the park on the north side of Jacksonville. I'm not from College Park, I'm from Jacksonville, but if you go in Jacksonville,
All right,
you know that I'm here to
that's
serve.
Thank you.
The question
Question was, what are you doing now to serve College Park and our community? And I went from business to elderly to young people.
Are we all gonna get that same amount of time? Because that was over a minute.
No, it was over a minute.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we
No, I mean,
apologize for
you can
that.
stop, but I mean,
We can do that. So it stopped at one.
It was 1:55.
okay, so we
All right, next.
All right, I usually don't need this microphone, but what are we doing without the title of mayor to edify the city of College Park? My background here, I lived here for 15 years. Of the 16 years, I've been a resident of Georgia. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I served 4 years on the VITA board. I was vice chair for 3 years. Currently, I am a member here with the College Park Citizens Association. And for those of you who are working or coming to city council, I'm the one that's writing in all the time because usually I'm at work. So whenever they're reading letters from Demetrius Taylor, that's me. I'm always the one that is making sure that I keep not necessarily my foot on their necks, but I'm just making sure that our voices, or at least my voice, gets heard, so that what is going on in the city, they are at least bringing their attention to. One of the things that I want to make mention is that we were told about affordable housing, and it was brought to the mayor's, not to the mayor and council's attention, that our beautiful, beautiful micro homes that we have over here on Godby Road, that we were told were supposed to be in home ownership and home ownership only. That's all they've been pushing was home ownership. And then you go to realtor.com and find out that a 650 square foot house was going for rent for $2,300, and mayor and council didn't know that. And then we were told that, oh, well, not all of the units were supposed to be for rent. I said, that's not what y'all said. Y'all pushed that to be home ownership from day one. They sold out before they were even built. They sold out. So we did not know that this was going to be for rent. But I said that, and that was the answer. So what am I doing? I'm making sure that we hold them accountable and making sure that transparency is that. But accountable and transparency needs to be married, because transparency does not need to be damage control. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting up there making sure that as a citizen with a voice, and I got a big mouth, I make sure that all of our elected officials, because it's not just mayor or council here. I get on everyone. If there's a problem that we need to have addressed, then we have the power of the pen, the power of the mouth to make sure that we are heard. And that there is what I'm doing. Thank you.
To answer the question, I moved back here with my wife back in 2019 to help take care of my elderly parents. When 2019 COVID hit, we were all locked up. But what I have done for College Park in my capacity as a closing attorney, I have sponsored and put forth affordable housing programs to whereby we bring in banks and marry them with people who do not have means to get houses. We educate them on what needs to be done. And I'm proud to say I've closed several homes in College Park, one with Karen, and we have made sure that we make them aware of the programs that are available to help them. I've also helped seniors that were being abused in housing complexes and needed help being represented against slumlord land representation. I have given them representation. I've given voice to the voiceless. I have given help to the helpless and hope to the hopeless. For everybody that needs my services and has needed my services as an attorney, I have been there. I have closed thousands of loans. I have made sure that people who work at $15 an hour jobs can find a way to one day become homeowners through various programs with lenders and banks. I've married them with lenders that have had specific programs for first-time homebuyers. Affordable housing is a problem here, and it's going to be a problem. We have to have a solution, and we have to have a mayor who gets it, who understands housing, who understands the residential and commercial market to bring back homes and businesses in College Park.
On Sunday, I go to the office on Monday morning with all of my questions written down. And I talk to every single department head. I find out the answers to the questions that I'm looking for. I find out other things that are going on that I need to know what's going on in the city. But you talk to your department heads ahead of time. You get your answers. When you get into council, you know the answers that you're looking for. And yes, when people get up and talk, there's a few questions that come up and a few questions that you hadn't thought about that you want to get into, and you ask them. But you come there prepared, you've got all your answers done, and you handle what you're there to do the job. Do the job before you get there at council. Be ready and answer questions.
All right, this is for the mayoral candidates. As a mayoral candidate, what do you do? What would you do different as mayor that has not been done? Oh.
Wait, no, I want to answer her question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. We're now gonna go back to 1 minute. We're now gonna go back to 1 minute. Thank you.
So, are you gonna call time?
Oh, we're gonna let the alarm go off. Thank you.
We've not been doing great.
Yes, ma'am. I got it together now. Thank you.
We realize. Yeah, do I need to ask a question?
No, he don't have no question.
Do I need to ask a question?
Yes, please do.
As a mayoral candidate, what would you do different as mayor that has not been done?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Listen, it's all right. It's all right. We want to be seen and carried on, and that's cute. Now, what I would do, since y'all say give us the mic, I'll just pass it, and then we just pass it down the line. Is that okay? All right. What would I do differently? Well, first off, I would be seen. I live in the apartment complexes, and it's a shame. I have to watch my mouth because I'm a cusser. I'm that transparent. Okay. It's a shame that we don't see nobody until it's election time. Okay. It's a shame that we don't see anybody until it's time to take a photo op, or when it's time to give out book bags, or when it's time for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Okay. If you let me get to that, I'm getting to that. I got time. Okay, I got time. What was that?
1 minute.
Thank you.
10 seconds.
Yeah, and what I said was I would be visible because nobody else is. Did you miss that? I would be visible. I would make sure that I'm out there and I'm loud enough. Okay, can you hear me now? Because I want to make sure that folks know that we are here for the community. I want to make sure that we get the communications department working so that everybody knows what's going on.
Hold on, we're gonna reset. Well, we're gonna reset. We cannot have you out screaming, you all. We have to keep, the reason we're trying to do everything, we don't want mudslinging, anything like that. We want to keep this level. And we all adults in here. So let's stay that way, please.
All right.
All right, I wanna say, I'm going to give him some time back because he was disturbed. How much time?
Just 30 seconds is
30
fine.
seconds?
Yeah, just
And
30
he-
seconds is fine.
Just bring it out just a little,
All
because
right.
you're loud in the mic, so just bring it out a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
As I said, it's a shame that we have to wait until these times before folks get visible. You know, and as I was saying earlier, and that's still too, I won't use it. As I was saying, it's always a shame to when it takes this time before everybody gets out to know their neighbors. But all of you guys are registered to vote. The people who are not here are those who don't, can't, or won't vote. And those are the ones who are the citizens that have all of the questions and answers, but because we don't listen to them because they don't have a vote, we end up throwing them away. Okay, what do we need to do? I need to be out there. Is that my time? Okay, that was my 30 seconds. Next question. Oh, I said I'm gonna pass the mic.
What I do differently is a lot. First of all, I would make sure that I'm focused on issues that mean something to the community. I would make sure I'm focused on taxes and why they're doubling and why our services are going down. I would focus on events that happen in the city, such as the water main break in January, December, which y'all know about. I will focus on not taking water from East Point without them knowing and cleaning them before it goes to our citizens. I will focus on being present and not being in Las Vegas when we have a crisis here in College Park. I will focus on crime. I will focus on making sure our police officers are equipped with everything they need. A small salary increase might be fine, but it's not competitive with what's going on. That's why we're losing. I will make sure we have continuity with our department heads and not lose 4 to 5 of them over the last 4 years. I will make sure we have transparency in our government and explanations as to why we are in the state that we are currently in, why we have depleted our funds.
my commitment to you is to make sure that I am continually informed. Because again, there are a lot of things that you can say on the campaign trail. But when you are actually making the decisions, you need to have facts. And the facts are that our reserves are actually higher than they were when I came into office. They want to tell you something different because this is based on sowing fear, division, and even racism. It is shameful. What is really going on is that we are working every single day to build this community we deserve. We are engaging with people. I have had one-on-one meetings every single month since 2021. I am accessible. I have reached out, I have responded. And what I promise you is that I will continue to do that. I will continue to broaden that reach.
Thank you.
Okay, what I would do differently, guys, I hear everyone talking, and you know I have my acronym. S is for servant leader, A is for accountability. One of the things that made me run is I don't want to do this job alone. What I would do differently is making sure that I'm not doing it alone. College Park has some numbers that I'm not proud of. As far as we have about 6,000 people, 7,500 people registered to vote, and 1,500 people showed up in our last mayoral election. And so with that, we got 6,000 people whose voice has not been heard. So starting now, I want more people to show up to vote because our vote really changes our community. Our vote really changed our neighborhood because if the people in certain areas had voted, certain things wouldn't happen in council. Our council has a really big who gonna check me boo type of attitude. And no one's gonna check them if you guys don't vote. So please vote and support me so I don't do it alone.
Now we're gonna ask council question. Question for council candidates. What have you contributed to our public and private schools?
My children attended Woodward Academy. I sat on the parent community board for 12 years there. And my husband and I ran every single concession stand on campus for 17 years. I worked my butt off for that school as a volunteer. I did many other things for that school. Now I love to give to our public schools supplies that they need, books that they need. I love to donate to the Boys and Girls Club in our community. And that is how I've been giving back to the children in our community. Thank you.
All right, okay, so I have worked with all the public schools and private schools and our charter schools in this city. We gave over 25,000 face masks to all the different public schools, and thank you for the volunteers that are here that know that we did that. Not only did we do that, but we provided over 2,700 book bags for students. We provided food, clothing for all of our schools and the teachers. We set up incentive programs at College Park Elementary School specifically to do things to encourage our teachers. Then on Woodward Academy and I have had a partnership for the past 4.5 years. We have given over 2,500 face masks. We have the students actually work with my Senior Dignity program to write cards for senior citizens to help with our Christmas giveaways. I teach the service learning class at Woodward Academy every single summer, and just got a letter from them thanking me for the last few years and letting me know they want me back. So I've worked with every school, public and private.
Okay, thank you very much. Real quick, I have worked with Woodward Academy Horizons programs where you teach young kids how to better themselves free. They brought people in and I worked with them on what it's like to have a checkbook, what it's like to have a credit card. So we've worked with these young kids to try to give them an idea of what finance and accounting is like. I've worked with our College Park Elementary School. I have worked over at the Delta Museum, and I grabbed 200 jackets from the Delta Museum, took them over there to the school, because a lot of those kids come to school without jackets and they're without t-shirts. So I've taken them t-shirts. I've also got a group out on Phoenix Boulevard that is starting a nursing certification program. I'm trying to work with them, and our new high school will be coming in 2014, who's going to be working with Atlanta Technical College, getting degree.
Good job.
All right. We're going to the mayoral candidates now. And I want to say in the break, you all, we are building a plane as we fly, so y'all give us a little time. Because we're taking all these questions and we're trying to field them, so. Yeah, no, just a specific. In the intro, if the panel gets to my water, please.
Excuse me. How would you plan to assist the families in public housing regarding whatever decision is made by RAD?
The mic is in front of me. So, and I'm assuming the acronym RAD. So there's a situation where and Mayor Bianca will be able to speak more to this because you're in the office, but they're possibly going to be relocated. And the question is, what will we do to assist them? Okay, so anybody having to be relocated out of their homes that they've lived in, a lot of those people have lived, a lot of people who are currently in the housing authority have lived there for generations and years to come. The biggest thing in helping people relocate from their home, like I mentioned to you guys, my grandmother was 100 years old and she spent most of her life, she spent her entire life, she never owned a home. And, you know, she was in the housing authority and she got older and she really did not want to leave her home. So the biggest thing you can do for people when you're relocating them, number one, give them an opportunity to come back home, if that opportunity exists.
If y'all want, y'all can just glance over to me and I'll hold my hand up when you get close.
I'm gonna run the time.
What will we do to assist those in the public housing authority? First off, my plan is to make sure that we have decent partnerships to where we have somewhere for them to go. A lot of the apartment complexes have waiting lists, and a lot of them are really not affordable to the income levels that a lot of people have. So first off, we have to make sure that we have enough places for them to go. In the interim, while we're doing that, we have to make sure that we're partnering with businesses who are ready to come in to build. We talked about affordable homes earlier. We have to make sure that we have partnerships with businesses ready to come in to create affordable homes while we are relocating our citizens there. At the same time, this has become multiple because we want to make sure that the RAD program is not a gentrification program. Because a lot of folks don't know what it is, and it sounds like that you're going to displace them, recreate the association, and then make it unaffordable for them to return. So we have to get the parameters for that together in order to recognize what it is. My time.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative to do the homework. The RAD committee is working on behalf of the citizens who live in College View Hills right now. No one is getting displaced, period. It is not allowed by federal law. Okay? It's not allowed. We are not trying to do that. What is happening is that we have had 50 years of disinvestment in that community. And we are trying to make that right. because people are not living in conditions that we know they deserve. So I would ask each and every one of you, go to the Housing Authority's website. There is a link on the RAD program. You can understand the parameters. I have 1 minute and I can't tell you all about it, but people are not getting displaced in an effort to put something else there, because it is all about serving the residents of the community with the amenities and the support that they need, because we haven't done that.
Just because you say it is doesn't mean it is. Get over there and talk to the people in the Housing Authority. I've been over there and I have pictures of mold and filth they are living in. They are trying to call the mayor, no response. They try to call Housing Authority. They do not respond. These people are living in subhuman conditions right now. Somebody went to the hospital weeks ago for carbon monoxide poisoning. Do the homework. It's there. They said that they were told by the guys there to let the window open. It's leadership, first of all. So what can we do? We can do what we can right now. Help them. Then we can be transparent about where they're going and what they are going to do. Accountability, communicate. They don't know. They're scared. So if the facts aren't there, then make a plan. Go talk to them. Meet with them. Get on the ground with them. Give them what they need so they can be equipped with the information they deserve.
Next question is for council. How do you plan to honor and respect the people displayed by 6 West?
I think the people who have been displaced by 6 West, I would love to see a memorial in the center of the roundabout on 6 West to honor these people. And I think we need to listen to what they want and how they want to be honored also. I think it's super important that we always listen to every citizen in this community and what their needs are. And so I think we should listen to them, find out if that is acceptable to them, and then honor them in a way that they deserve. Thank you.
I've been working with the families that have been displaced and those that are working diligently to make sure that our city properly recognizes the blood, sweat, and tears that is under that dirt that we call 6 West. It's very important to me, and that's why I said developing it right. If we don't recognize the people that were there, we will never build that thing. There will be no blessing on that property there. And so I have been working with them for the last 8 months. We've been discussing how we can take Price Barbershop and turn that in. And I did that as a vice chair. I gave them my word that I would pursue that, but I don't only pursue it in meetings. I sit with them. I was in a meeting with them for 2 hours this past week. And we're looking at how we can turn it into a memorial, a museum, that house, and there will be marker. The community recognized where there were different buildings.
We recently dedicated and changed Oak Street to Lottie Miller. And if anybody was at that ceremony, it was beautiful. There's a big roundabout, which you've mentioned. A lot of ideas are coming from those people that live there. Have bricks where they can put the names of the families, every single one of them. Have a statue that talks about this, what happened. But we as mayor and council have approved stanchions to go out through the city that talk about what happened, who was there, why they were displaced, so that the history is passed on to the young kids in the neighborhood, like these two sitting right over here, should be able to walk down the streets and understand the history that was all in that area.
Now what we're doing, we have specific questions for candidates. And that's what we're gonna do now. We're moving into that.
We're going to start with you, Mayor Broom. Motley Broom, I'm sorry. Why did you decide to put Karen Corbin's sign in your yard? Why not stay neutral for the benefit of not being biased?
I'm a Ward 1 resident and I have an opportunity to voice my opinion about the campaign just like anyone else.
Next question. I got quite a few for you, so let me just go ahead and get some of them, if you can answer them. Tell us 2 challenges you have now in College Park on the community level. Service personnel and encourage voter registration.
I do not understand the question.
I think the main thing is to tell us 2 challenges you're having right now in College Park. The 2 challenges you face.
I think one of the challenges that we face as a community, which is one that is statewide, nationwide, as a municipal government, we have a challenge in retaining and recruiting. But I actually attended a speech by the head of the Georgia Chamber that said, for every individual that is looking for a job, there were 3 openings. 3 openings. And that is expected to continue for the next 10 years. So we have to be more nimble about how we address our workforce challenges. And I think the second one is that we need to make sure that we are providing opportunities for all of our residents. A lot of this stuff didn't happen overnight. But I think to Councilman Allen's point, the investments that we are making in our community, including the Promise Career Institute, which is going to be on Main Street in the former College Park High School, is going to be a great start.
Okay. And I guess I'll do one more before I go to the next candidate I have questions for. During your term, what steps have been taken to improve transparency and information flow from citizens?
When I took office in January of 2020, if you wanted to know what the council was talking about in those agenda packets, you had to make an open records request after the meeting. That was unacceptable. You deserve to know how we are making our decisions, what we are basing them on, and that was changed really, really quickly because transparency is key. You deserve to know exactly how we are thinking and what we're basing our information on. Secondly, we didn't live stream our meetings. COVID pushed us toward that. But there are communities that have gone back from that. And you will not see us do that because you deserve to see what is happening in real time, and you deserve to be able to do that no matter where you are. We have just started our strategic performance reports. I think we're on number 5 or 6, Councilman Allen, and that has been with the coming of our new city manager, Stanley Hawthorne. Every meeting, every department has a report. That is accessible for you. You can see exactly what's happening in our community.
Thank you. The next question I have is for Mr. Demetrius Taylor. The question said, I've heard you speak 3 times now, and each time you mention white nationalism and KKK. What does that group have to do with 6 West and College Park?
This here became public information from the Southern Poverty Law Center. What's that? Let me stop talking in this thing. Okay. I can't help. I'm just resident. That information came public to us from the Southern Law Poverty Center, and what happened was we had property that was bought in the 6 West development by a man by the name of Sam Dixon, and I don't remember his partner's name, but his partner name happens to be the ex-brother-in-law of our city mayor. And why is that important? Well, it's not illegal for someone with that ideology to buy land because we don't want to discriminate against business practices. However, because that became public in a city that is 82% African American, it is important that we know what's going on in the city. And because of that, the development is not developed yet. We don't have African American or other people of color at the table.
May I respond? Because that is that.
Not right now. We're gonna go to council.
We'll have time. Yeah.
For someone, not just Mayor Motley, for someone's character to be personally attacked on this panel and not be given a right to respond, it is.
Wait a minute. Like I said before, we're gonna keep this level. We're not, wait a minute, you're at our meeting, wait a minute. We are not personally or emotionally involved. What we're trying to do is give a platform. Now, we understand what just happened. We just told her, had you let us talk, we're gonna give her a chance to respond. We have a lot of questions here. All of these citizens are just as important as the other. So if we can get the questions out, we will give time to respond. We also want a time limit. Exactly. So give us some time. Thank you.
So now questions for the council candidates. This question is for Jamel. Jamel, you said Ward 1 is a melting pot of all races. How do you respond to Carnes and Gay, who refer to Ward 1 as rich white people?
Well, Ward 1 is not a ward full of white, rich persons. We are diverse in every single sense of the word. We do have persons that have extreme means living in our ward, but we also have persons, we have the housing authority. And we know that those are income-based living situations. There's no ward like Ward 1. So my response to them is, you're wrong. That's it. You're just wrong. The evidence is the evidence. The numbers are the numbers.
Question number 2 is, why did you oppose the Diamond Project, affordable housing?
Good question. I never opposed it. I was given a document to sign by the economic development director at that time that was illegal for the Diamond Project. It was missing very important clauses that the city could have been in major trouble had I not understood that reading is fundamental and read the document. All right, so I read it. It was incorrect, and it turned out that my board had never even voted on it. So it was illegal in every sense of the word. And that is what I promise as I go forward. I will read the packets. I will protect this city. The Diamond Project is a wonderful project. I never opposed it. I just opposed things being done illegally.
Councilman Allen, how do you work with the city employees?
Thank you. I get that from my HR at Delta. I sit down and talk with the employees. I see what's going on, and I stop. When somebody's working in a ditch on the street and they're dirty, stop and say thank you. Stop and see what's going on. Stop and thank them for what they're doing, and you'll see that their attitude is great. I will go in and talk with all the departments, but when a department has a program, a department has a fundraiser or anything that's going on, I am there. I show up. I will be at the different events, like the jazz music that we had on Godby Road the other night, where about 200 people were there. It was great. People were dancing. Even the mayor was dancing, and I was dancing, but it was great. We even got the mayor's mom to dance. But I support those projects that everybody is involved with in the city.
Thank you. Today, Karen Corbin. Biden has failed to seal any meaningful properties in 6 West. How does this affect residential property taxes and city debt?
Well, to lower our income taxes, we have to increase our basis. And so to increase our basis, we need to build more buildings. And so therefore, we need to sell this property so that we can start taxing these people. And then that way we can lower our personal property taxes, which I'm super excited about. And I think that if we move VITA forward and 6 West forward, our property taxes will go down, and we deserve that.
I have several more for you.
Okay.
What board have you served on in College Park that have led to improvements in the city services?
I have not served on a board that has led to city service improvement, but I have served on the parent community board at Woodward Academy for 12 years. I served on the HCPNA board for 5 years, and I also was the chair of the College Park Arts Festival for 5 years when we had it.
Next question. You keep stating when you are elected, you will put your experiences to work with home ownership programs, bringing business to College Park. With over 20 years of realtor experiences, why wait to be elected to improve your city?
I have not waited until I was elected to improve my city. I have been a realtor in College Park for 17 years. I have sold more property in Ward 1 than any other realtor that is licensed today, and that is a fact, and you can look it up. I sell property across this state and across this city to anyone who wants to buy. I always say I'm a realtor whore. I'll do anything for a little bit of money, and I do not care what price range you're in, or, you know, from $50,000, I've sold houses for $10,000 in the downturn, all the way to $1 million. I will work for you. That is my duty as a realtor, and that is what I do on a daily basis. I actually have a client right now looking to buy in 30349. So I have been there every single week for 2 months working with her.
Motley Group.
Motley Group. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to respond to what candidate Taylor said. We also have other questions after the 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right.
The accusations that candidate Taylor made are false, and they are designed to sow division, fear, and racism. They are not true. And what we've got to focus on are the facts. The facts are that we are moving 6 West forward. We took T-SPLOST money to build Lottie Miller Boulevard. We are working with Stream Realty, who understands our commitment to minority development in 6 West to ensure that we're doing the right thing.
Next question. Will you and or your family personally profit from the development of 6 West?
No.
Please explain our tax situation.
Our millage rate was 12.619 for a number of years. It went to 1 mil. It went up 1 mil last year. Our taxes have not doubled in the time that Councilman Allen and I have served. And I think, again, you have to do the homework. You have to look at the actual facts. And that 1 mil increase did one thing that I think is vitally important, because we have talked about how we need to make sure that we are supporting our employees. It paid for raises for our firefighters. The people who were on Godby Road this morning, making sure that 7 people got out of a building and they didn't die. The people who stand up for us 24/7 when you call 911. I will stand up for them because they support us. And that is primarily where that 1 mil increase went.
Can you tell us more about the ice storm earlier in this year? We had water main breaks, and it brought the community attention that the water was stolen from the city of East Point, water that was untreated, but still allowed that water to go into the city of College Park.
Our water situation is that we do not have an independent source of water. We get it from East Point, we get it from Atlanta, we get it from Clayton County. When all of those systems failed as a result of that intense freezing that we had, my mother was sitting in my house. She was making sure that everything was going well. I was not physically present in the city when it happened. I didn't leave the city because it was happening. But I'm gonna tell you, couldn't get back either, because I don't know if you remember the whole Southwest thing, there was a lot of confusion over the holidays. But what I was doing was having 3 meetings a day, sometimes starting at 4 a.m. to make sure that everything was going right, and leading the team to make sure that our response was robust, that you were getting those code red calls, that water was being distributed. I worked with Coca-Cola United to get our first round of water to make sure that people were taken care of. I'm not going to apologize for taking a vacation, but it was not one.
One last question. Explain the amount of power you have in the city. We have been told that we are under council control. The mayor has limited power.
It's a council manager form of government. So if you read the charter, which I would encourage all of you to do, I serve as a tie-breaking vote, but our city manager runs the day-to-day operations of the city, and I think it's vitally important that you understand that, because when your trash doesn't get picked up and someone reaches out to me, I'm gonna go talk to the city manager or the Department of Public Works to make sure that happens. So there is a limited amount of power that I have as mayor, because it is a council manager form of government. And to talk about, all the things that administrations will do, like, we are just one person. We have one person that supports the 5 of us as an admin. This is a part-time job. This is a job that I love. It is a job that I work 24/7, 365 on. I also have to have a job that supports my bills too.
Thank you, Mayor.
Motley Crue.
Motley, bro, I keep going, I'm sorry. I apologize, I'm not perfect, man. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna ask everyone the same question. We're now constrained in time, but we will ask you all if you want to stay after. If people want to come and talk to you all, would that be possible, John? Okay, because we tried to fill all the questions and we couldn't, but we got down to one last question for everyone.
And everyone have 1 minute to answer this. As a long-term resident, there seems to be more divisiveness now. And in this election, what will you do to correct this?
So what I would do to correct it is, like I said before, College Park is 4 wards. College Park is 4 wards. It's time to move 4 wards forward. Okay, as a city, we have to listen to our citizens. We have to make sure that more people are involved in our government so that we show up. The biggest thing right now is that all of you get 100 more people to show up to vote. Because what happens is, if divisiveness happens, like the mayor just said, she doesn't get the vote, she gets to break the vote. Her job, the mayor's job, is to represent the people and to be the voice of the people. So when there is divisiveness, her one vote is the vote for the 14,000 people. And so that is who I plan to be, and that is who I am. If you have questions for me, you can Zoom me. Go to my website, Vote Spicito for Mayor, and I will have a Zoom to answer all your questions.
Let's see if I talk like this, if this is okay. It's not blowing up the system. What I do, I will make sure that we are all participants of everything that goes on in the city. Again, that goes to the communications department. Everyone needs to know what's going on in the city. Everyone needs the opportunity to show up. Everyone needs the opportunity to participate in what's going on in the city. Each ward, no matter how big or small, everyone has organizations, different plateaus, different barbecues. We need to be visible so that you can see that we care about you. How do we make keep y'all from being indecisive and separate or whatever? Invite a neighbor out to the barbecue. Let them bring the potato salad. Let them bring the macaroni and cheese or whatever. Engage the community so that we can stop all this divisiveness. Everybody know it's one College Park.
As stated in my platform, I will have a One College Park initiative. I've said this and I'll say it again. I am going to establish committees in every ward to meet with the mayor and council members, if they so choose, on a periodic basis, one-on-one with me, to get the issues so that we can not have a complete catastrophe during our council meetings, but we will know the issues beforehand and come up with solutions to bridge the gap during those sessions. Every quarter or periodically, council people or people from every ward, 1, 2, 3, and 4, will meet with me and council members to discuss issues and find solutions to our problems in College Park, to make sure that we are one ward, not one ward.
because we have a job to do. We have a job to do to make sure that we are doing our best for our community day in and day out. I will never stop listening to you. We have, like I said, since 2021, I have done one-on-one meetings every single month. I've got one on Tuesday, still have a couple of slots, so feel free to call City Hall and sign up and we can chat. And I also started a Mayor's Advisory Council. And I want to expand upon that and grow it to make sure that we are reaching out to everyone who is engaged and wants to be engaged in this city. I love this city and I love its residents and I love serving as your mayor. Was that a time?
7 seconds.
No, that
Oh,
was it.
I'm sorry. And I want to continue that work because we've just gotten started and we're making great progress.
Unfortunately, the divisiveness starts at the top, and our council is very divided. I deal with adversity every single day in my job. When I sell a house, I'm on the opposite side of the person that I'm with, but I'm very good at negotiating. So I'm going to work hard with the council members so we all can feel united. We can work together as a team. I was raised by a coach, like Spicita talked about. My family had a travel baseball program for 50 years. And I was raised by a coach, and I have been taught the team mentality. So we as a community needs to work together as a team. I answer my phone. I will listen to everyone. So if you want to talk to me, if you have a problem, call me. I can get things done. I like to fix things. That's what I do best. So I want to hear from everyone. Thank you.
All righty. I am a team player and I can work with anyone and I work with everyone. I've been told that Jamel has the ability to get a bunch of people in a room who can't stand each other, but they will work for a common goal. And that's what I plan to continue to do on the city council. I can work with anybody I will work with. I don't care what you've heard, it's lies. Those of you that are in the room that have worked with me, you know that. The other thing that we've rolled out during this campaign is our community champion program. I believe that one of the reasons we have so much divisiveness is because there's a small group of people that consider themselves to be elite or whatever in charge that are spreading rumors and that are not correct. I've heard the mayor say over and over again about incorrect and misinformation. And so our community champions program is geared to get people in our community and hopefully throughout our city, but starting with my ward, at least 50 to 60 people that will disseminate information that is correct. I believe that if we get the correct information, we can move forward.
My job as councilman is to listen to you. It's to listen to the employees. And this morning at 7:30, there was a fire on Godby Road. People were displaced. I went out there to see what happened. I talked to 4 people, a woman and a child, who had to climb out of their balcony and be taken by a ladder and a fireman down to the ground. We're sitting here talking about what's going on in the city. They have lost everything they have. I went out there to find out what's going on, to make sure that they had communications with the Red Cross, to make sure they had a place to stay, and talk with them and find out what's going on, and to talk with the little girl. That's what I do. That's what I bring to the city. I talked to all the firemen, and it wasn't only College Park. The city of South Fulton had people there. And the city of South Fulton had a lot of firemen that deserved to be thanked. So I was out there thanking each one.
Excuse me. I want to thank all of the candidates, incumbents for coming, participating, being classy. And I want to thank everyone who came out. And what I want to tell you all, we give these people the power. We are the power. We give them the power. So it's on us. We're all sitting in here. Some of us have different shirts on. We all seem divided. But one thing I can say is we all care about the city. Am I right? Yeah. Even though we're divided, even though we may have certain candidates, person may be your neighbor, but if that person's house is on fire, I can guarantee you help them out. That's right. So we cannot take all of this, that person. If your candidate versus that person is still gonna be your neighbor. Right. And I would hope you will go out and still. That's right. Give them sugar, give them water. So I want us to leave on high spirits in here. I want us all to give all the candidates a hand. Close out with a prayer. And I want to say thank you all. Thank you all so much because you care about the city. You all could have been anywhere else on this beautiful, beautiful day. But you decided to come here with us, and we really appreciate it. And I hope when I see y'all out in public, y'all speak to me. You're not mad at me, you know. But again, thank you all. We're gonna have a closing prayer.
Thank you guys for coming again. And we had to make some adjustments, and I want to thank you all for assisting us in making those adjustments. And we have another adjustment that we had to make. So on the way out, there's a black Mercedes-Benz out there with sandwiches, donuts in it. So we want you to grab it as you go. What is it?
Snatch and grab.
Snatch and grab. Yeah.
Let's grab a cup.
Yeah. So having said that, we're just going to close out with a prayer. So if we just focus right now. Father, it's in the name of Jesus that we stand on your word that says in all things give thanks, for it is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning us. So Father, we just thank you first of all for who you are in our lives. And secondly, we want to thank Pastor Alexander for letting us use this great facility to have this great meet and greet / debate / forum. We thank you, Lord God, for all the participants, the mayoral candidates. We thank you for the council candidates. We thank you for every citizen that came out to be a part of this great event. So, Father, as we go, we thank you that you've already dispatched angels to go before us to make our way straight, that no harm, hurt, or danger come upon us. We give you all the glory, all of the honor, and all of the praise. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. On the way out, we have refreshments at the car.
Also,
Yeah, about 30.
everyone who had our, if we can do better, please come join us. cpcaga.com if you want to become a member. Y'all can come in the meetings. Y'all can fuss at me. Y'all can tell me what I need to do better. Please.